Morning. Good morning, everyone. I am Lisa Raish. I am the construction CPA. Welcome to the Construction CPA's Coffee Cafe. We are dropping the hammer on cash flow problems so you can build things that matter. And this week's topic is making decisions like an investor. So we previously talked about the options that you have in your business. Like, what do you want to do with your business in the long run? So we've talked about you want to potentially sell your business. Do you want to have one of your children succeed you in your business? And then, so there are three options. So again, sell your business, you have a family member succeed you in your business, or a key team member that you've had in your business for a while. Or the last thing, which we see a lot of, is either individuals die in their business or they just walk away from it. And so one of the things that I want to talk about when I say making decisions like an investor is there really needs to be, if you're going to sell or you're going to have some sort of succession scheme in place, there has to be a plan. Investors plan things. They don't just wake up on a Monday morning, decide they're going to buy a business on a Tuesday, right? They don't make decisions like that. They really think about it and they plan it and they figure out how they're going to do things. So that's what I really want to talk more about today. Is you may not be ready to sell your business next week, and that's fine. Selling your business or having one of your children come into the business and take over for you, that might be 15 or 20 years away, which is fine. But if that is your overall long-term goal, you want to make sure that you build what you need to get that in place to actually do what you want. And that is a long-term strategy. But you want to think about how investors think when you are planning and you're making decisions in your business. So first and foremost is when you're investing in other businesses and you're looking at other businesses, you're making objective decisions, right? You're not letting your emotions get involved with your decisions, right? We've all had those moments. We've all had those imposter syndrome moments like, oh, nobody will pay me to do that. Or, oh, that's a crazy idea. No one will ever, believe, or that will never get off the ground because that's a crazy idea. That's your emotions, right? You haven't done any, you haven't actually researched it, right? Is there any data behind it? Are there any analytics that you can look at? Are there actual things that you can look at when you're making your decisions and base it on, take your personal, how I feel, I like this, I don't like that, take that out of your decision making and look at it as, an individual from the other side who doesn't know what you know, but looking at those details and making your decisions based on that. So what are the inputs? What are the outputs? They're looking at things tactically, right? Do I have any blind spots? Are there things that I can't see? When you're thinking emotionally, when you're letting your heart make your decisions, you're not looking at those things. You're just thinking, oh, the sun rose today, I should do this. No, they're really being objective and they're looking at things. They're, for instance, if they are looking at purchasing a business, they're looking at your numbers, right? They're looking at your revenues. They're looking at what you're spending, what your margin is, things like that. So even though you may not have an investor interested in your business, you want to think like they do when you are planning and you're working through your business, right? What are the other things that are important to them? What do investors value? They value relationships. I work in the service business. Accounting is a service business. We work with construction. Construction is a service business. It's a people business. It is all about building the relationships, right? That next project might come from that relationship that you've built with that one individual, or you've done a great job. If you're in the residential space, you've done a great job on someone's property. They're going to tell the next person how great of a job, right? It's that relationship that you have with the homeowner or the building owner or the GC that really creates value in your business, right? Creates value in your name. So you want to build those relationships. How much time is so valuable and is so often wasted in all of our businesses. Here, first one to say that I have the ability to waste time just like any other business owner. So when you're making a decision, what's going to truly make the difference? Is this going to be important to you in 12 months or 3 years? Or is it just that thing that you're dealing with today, right? Is that a good use of your time? Is that a good use of your team's time, right? That's valuable to you. You can't get that back. You can't get that time back. So, really, looking at it when you're making decisions in your business, is this going to matter in 12 months? Yes or no? If it's not, then it should not require your time at this moment, right? What's going to be the return on your overall investment? What's the ROI? You always hear that all the time. So again, you're growing your revenues. Those are things that are important, right? If you're an investor or if somebody's actually going to buy your business down the road, do you have the ability to steadily grow your revenues year over year? Are you flat? Are you going down? That can be the single biggest value driver in your business is your ability to grow revenues year over year. Is it predictable? Is it sustainable? Is it wild, crazy hockey stick growth? Which we all know. We all watch the stories on the internet and on television about all the big investors everyone knows about and all the crazy money going around in VC, which is not the reality in most of our real businesses. But you have to take what they're doing and bring it back down to what you're doing. Is it predictable? Is it sustainable? Is it wild and is it all over the place? Are you making decisions from your heart? Have you not been able to grow revenues over the last couple of years? Those are all going to be indications of whether a business can continue moving forward. So if you're looking to sell in 10 or 15 years, that person who wants to buy your business is going to want to ensure that they're going to be able to maintain that growth. They're going to sustain the growth, that they can predict the growth moving forward. The same thing is and you want to look at it the same way as if you're in a succession place. If you want to hand it over to one of your children, you want your children to succeed. So you would want them to be able to continue to grow revenues and have it be predictable and sustainable over the years. So those are all things that, again, people think investors, the big VC money, but you need to think about those things in your own business too. I think about those things in my business. I want to be able to sell my business in the next 10 to 15 years. What do I need to do to be able to get to that point that it's worth what I need it to be worth when I want to exit? So again, there are things that are going to go into building that up, right? Using my time as efficiently as possible, not wasting time on the minutia everyday things, looking at the big picture things. What's going to move us down the road in 12 months, 36 months, right? So think about those things in your business. And, growing your revenues year over year is harder than growing your margins, right? So if you have that sustainable growth and you have the ability to do that, that is valuable to someone. So you need to be able to continue to do that year after year after year. Again, we're seeing a lot more acquisition going on in the space right now. That doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get acquired next week. You may not want to be acquired next week. You may not be ready to be acquired. So you want to go and you want to look at where you are and what you want to do with it. But look down the road to say, you know what, I do want to sell down the road. So what do I need to do? What foundation, right? We work with construction. What foundation do you need to be put in place to build the building on top of that? The building just doesn't show up. What do you need to put in place? So think about that, right? Those are the things that you want to think about. You need to be objective. You need to remove your emotions from your decision making, right? Base it on analytics and data. There's tons of data available now, right? You can find all kinds in your own business, on the internet, everywhere, right? Use the data that's out there to make your decisions. Be tactical in what it is that you're going to do next. Making sure you're watching those blind spots, and we all have them. But what are the inputs in your business? What are the outputs in your business, right? Those are the things that are going to help you be the best investor in your own business, not just, investing in other businesses. Be a good investor in your own business. think about the things that you're going to be doing. Separate yourself from, you want to be selective in who you build relationships with. Investors do that. They're selective on who they build relationships with. Be productive with your time. Think long term. You may not be ready to sell or hand off to one of your children today, but what does that look like in 10 or 15 years when you do want to do that? So again, I challenge you to think like an investor. I know we're trying to do it here. We're trying to think about it internally in this own business, and we challenge our clients to do that as well. If you have any questions whatsoever, please feel free to drop them in the chat. We always love to hear from you. As always, we would love to see you here every Friday morning at 10 a.m. for the Construction CPA's Coffee Cafe. We look forward to seeing you next week, and have a great weekend.